Detroit basketball. I had to switch it up tonight. That falsetto was only reserved for primetime performances, and we got a primetime performance from our all-star tonight, Cade Cunningham. But first things first, the Pistons are now 3-0 in 2025. When was the last time you could say that? And they now move to 17-18 overall as they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves at home tonight, 119-105. Guys, the Pistons have officially turned a corner. They dominated the Wolves tonight. They dominated the Wolves tonight on both ends of the court. They controlled the entire game, and it started with the defense. Once again, they're developing an identity. I talked about this last game, but you can slowly see the Pistons are developing an identity because they're doing the same things every game. Guys are playing their role the same way every game, and collectively they're playing the same way together every game. And most importantly now, guys, this team believes. Coach Bickerstaff pregame said that he can see the look in their eyes in the locker room and tell that they can believe they can win now. And you can see it in their body language. These guys are into this game. They got up for this game for sure. And the defense was contagious. Everybody was engaged. Everybody is buying in to defense first, and it's making the game fun on offense, especially in transition with the athletes that we have. So after last night against the Hornets, right? I said the Pistons need to make a change in the backcourt. My proposal was that the Pistons should move Tim Hardaway Jr. to the 2 and slide either Asar or Ron Holland to the 3. I think the move is starting Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2. That way you have a defensive unit and you still got some shooting with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris and of course Cade. And that's exactly what they did tonight. I like Wendell Moore, but he's not a starter. In last game when he started, he didn't score. And he wasn't really impactful. He had a couple steals, but he just wasn't impactful enough. And don't get me wrong, he plays hard, but he's just not impactful enough as a starter. And the difference tonight was obvious because the Pistons decided to start Thompson, and it made all the difference in the world. If I'm being honest, if the Pistons would have went with that same lineup that they went with last game against the Hornets, this game could have looked completely different. Listen, I don't have any insider information. I've just watched the game for a long time, right? And it was clear to me that in order for the Pistons to get off to better starts, which we always talk about, hitting first, setting the tone, it has to start with defense. So we'll get more into that later. But the Pistons have their formula now. They have their formula. It's something we talk about all the time. Tough physical defense, getting out in transition, and sharing the ball offensively, right? They did all those things tonight, consistently. And you can see they were having a lot of fun because now it's resulting in wins. And the Pistons also got off to good starts in both halves, right? We've seen them at times have a great start to the game and then tail off in the third quarter or vice versa. Slow start and then try to pick it up and get back into the game in the second half. But tonight, when the Wolves are down double digits at halftime and Anthony Edwards expectedly tried to shoot his team back into the game, the Pistons did not bend. They did not bend. They continued to play their brand of basketball. They didn't allow the Wolves to get them backpedaling. They continued to press the issue and play tough defense and get out and run on offense. And it worked like a charm tonight. This was one of the most complete games the Pistons have played from start to finish. And that's why it finished in a wire-to-wire win. The Wolves really weren't ever in this game. Even though Anthony Edwards, who is an incredible basketball player, put up 53 points tonight. 53. He had 53 points, 6 rebounds, only 2 assists on 16 for 31 from the field, 10 to 15 from 3, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. So Anthony Edwards can hoop, man. He's a very, very good player. He was even efficient in that 53. But when I saw him trying to will his team back into the game in the second half by taking over the game by himself, I knew they were in trouble. I knew they were in trouble. And I'll explain why. So first, let's get to the box. Let's start with Cade, man. Cade, I had to put a jersey out tonight, man. He was on one tonight. Cade had one of his best performances of his career tonight. He finished with 40 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 15 for 29 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Okay, so anybody watching this video, if you haven't yet, pause the video and go vote for Cade Cunningham right now for the All-Star game. Right now. I'll be here when you get back. Pause the video, go do it, and come back. Guys, listen. There's no denying it anymore. There's no more gray area. There is no more, it's up for debate. It's clear. Cade Cunningham is an all-star. And it's not even close. He dominated this game tonight. Absolutely just dominated the game. Controlled the game. Cade understood the matchup tonight between he and Anthony Edwards. And he didn't allow himself to make it an individual battle. But every time he needed to, he stepped up. And as good as Ant-Man is, the Pistons actually have the better team. Edwards had 35 in the third, and the Pistons were up 15. Right? The Pistons double-teamed him all night, and no one else really stepped up for the Wolves. Outside of Julius Randle, who had 17, he didn't get any help. And the Pistons offense is unpredictable because they share the basketball and don't rely on one guy to have to go crazy every single night. Cade had 40 tonight, but he was matching Ant-Man. So even when they cancel each other out, the Pistons had a huge lead. One guy can't be 5, no matter how good you are. LeBron, MJ, Kobe, Kareem, doesn't matter. All the greats have lost to better teams. All those guys have lost to better teams in the regular season and in the playoffs. So he had 50 plus points, but didn't get much help, and it didn't matter. 2 starters for the Wolves tonight combined for 6 points total. That was Rudy Gobert, who had 6, and Mike Conley, who had 0. So you're just not going to win if your starters give you absolutely no scoring, which is exactly why I felt the Pistons couldn't keep starting Wendell Moore, who didn't score last game. And Wendell Moore, I like him, but tonight he was a healthy scratch. No playing time. So for those who were saying that I was wrong for saying that Wendell Moore should come out of the starting lineup, the numbers don't lie, man, and neither does the scoreboard. The scoring in the third quarter kind of went like this, and this is when I got very, very comfortable that this game was going to be over pretty soon. It will go like this. Edwards, Cade. Edwards, Asar. Edwards, Tobias. Edwards, Beasley. Edwards, Stu. Edwards, JD. And that was kind of how it went the rest of the game. You're never going to win that way if you're Ant-Man. Not against a team that plays together. And the Pistons are becoming a team that plays together. So once again, Cade was the head of the snake tonight, but he got help from his teammates tonight whenever he would get double. Guys like Malik Beasley, guys like Tobias Harris, guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., they knocked down shots when he needed it. So once again, guys, if you haven't voted for Cade to make the All-Star game, go vote. If you have voted for Cade to make the All-Star game, go vote again. You can vote as many times as you want. So let's go support our guy, man. Like this, we've been wanting this for a long time. We haven't had an All-Star since Blake Griffin was here. That was 5-6 years ago. So this is what we wanted, Pistons fans, and we've got it now, right? We've got our star. So go support him. Go vote, man. Tobias Harris has 16 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, on 5 for 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line in 34 minutes. So Tobias played another solid game, right? He didn't give us 24 and 10 like he did last game, but he still gave us a double-double, 16 and 11, and he actually led the team in rebounding tonight. Even though he didn't give us crazy numbers, I can live with 16, 11, and 4 and good defense. I can live with that. He didn't shoot great tonight. 5 for 13 isn't great, but it's okay, right? Because he was still playing within the flow of the offense, and he's knocking down more shots. 5 for 13 isn't great, but it's better than 3 for 13 or 2 for 13 or 1 for 8 or 2 for 10, right? Knock down some shots, and he did that tonight. So he's giving it to us on both sides of the basketball, and this is now his 3rd game in a row he's done that, right? We know about the 4-game Western Conference road trip. He didn't play well, only scored 10 points once out of those 4 games. So he's finding his groove, man. It seemed like he's definitely getting more comfortable in his offense, and most importantly, he's knocking down shots, and we're not losing the defensive intensity. So once again, good game from Tobias. It looks like he's slowly maybe rounding into form. Tim Hardaway Jr. gave us 7 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 of 9 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. So Tim didn't shoot it great, but he didn't take a ton of shots, so he didn't really shoot us out of a game. Tim Hardaway makes an impact in other ways other than just scoring for this team. He does a lot of little things. He makes the extra pass to get a better shot, is willing to give up his body. Once again, he had a charge tonight. So he makes impactful plays on the defensive side of the ball, and he plays good team defense, right? And with him playing the shooting guard spot now, instead of playing the small forward like he was before, he's not undersized every night. So the Pistons are now a bigger team defensively. Instead of having him at the 3 with Jaden before at the 2 and Cade at the 1, you now have Cade at the 1 with Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2 and Asar Thompson at the 3. Speaking of Asar Thompson, man, guys, the starting small forward spot now belongs to Asar Thompson, and he ain't giving it back. This dude is the epitome of impact. He does so many things for you on a basketball court that makes it nearly impossible to not start him because he's a tone setter. I always talk about this. He's the kind of guy that can help you get off to good starts because he's a great defender already, and he's able to turn defense into offense, right? If he gets a steal or a block, he can push the ball. He doesn't have to look for an outlet. And that ability makes it much harder for the defense. Just those few split seconds makes it harder for the defense to get set. And with the speed, that makes it even harder when he's in transition. So if anybody's running with him, it's going to be an easy bucket. He brings so many intangibles to this basketball team. He had 10 points tonight to go with 10 rebounds, 6 steals, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 5 of 5 from the field. He didn't miss a shot tonight. Most of his shots, if not all of them, were at the rim, either for dunks or run out layups. And that just goes back to the Pistons getting easy shots. He does that for you. And as much as he stuffed the stat sheet tonight, just watch him play basketball. And you can see how impactful he is on both sides of the court. He's truly a Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of everything for this basketball team, and he can really cover up a lot of mistakes defensively with his help side defense. So he's just a really, really good player for this team, and he's only going to continue to get better because, once again, he was off for 8 months, guys. He's been back for about a month. He got his first start tonight, and look at what he did in his first start after not playing a starting role for 8 months. This is what I'm saying, guys. This just goes back to the patience piece that I'm always talking about. People were impatient with Jaden Ivey this year. They were impatient with Jalen Duren this year. Now they're impatient with Asar Thompson because he hasn't played a great game yet. Hasn't even started yet. Just give these guys time. Give them time. Time and reps are the most important thing for these guys, individually and as a team. And for him to do what he did tonight in his first start in 8 months was nothing short of incredible, man. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him continue to start because after the night, he's not giving that spot back. Jalen Duren had 5 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 fouls, 2 poor shooting, 1 or 2 from the free throw line. So JD didn't have a great night stat sheet wise, but lately he's really upped his game. His identity for this team is going to be rebound the basketball and become a good finisher at the rim. Tonight, he had a tough task with that because he was dealing with the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year and Rudy Gobert. We know Gobert is a terrible perimeter defender, but in the paint, he's still 7'1", 7'2", with crazy long arms. So that made things a little bit difficult tonight for JD, but the effort was there, right? He was trying to offensive rebound. He's continuing to get offensive tap outs to give the team more opportunity. And defensively, he was solid too. We know Rudy isn't a great scorer, but Rudy only has 6 points tonight. And there was a play in the first half where Cade threw a pass off the glass to Asar Thompson on the break for a crazy dunk. Hadn't seen that since Brandon Jennings and Andre Drummond. Almost brought a tear to my eye. But before that happened, what caused that play, that transition opportunity, was JD stopping the lob pass and getting a steal. So he's continued to put forth the effort defensively. He only had 4 shots tonight offensively, right? So you can see he's really trying to focus on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm here for that. He's not going to be perfect every game. He's not going to be great every game. He's going to have some bad games. But as long as he continues to try to commit to that end of the floor and build out from there, he's going to be fine. Let's get to the bench real quick. Malik Beasley. Man, talk about a bounce back game. Last game, he shot 5 for 16 overall from the field, 1 for 10 from 3. Tonight, he was the second leading scorer on the team. He had 23 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 turnover, on 8 for 17 from the field, 6 for 14 from 3, 1 or 2 from the free throw line. So, bounce back game. Bounce back game from Bees. This is why last game, when I was talking about Beasley, I told you guys that I wasn't concerned because he was playing the same exact way that he always plays. Shots just weren't falling. He wasn't doing anything uncharacteristic. He wasn't taking bad shots, shooting the Pistons out of the game. All of his shots last game were in the flow of the offense. It just didn't fall. Tonight, all of his shots were in the flow of the offense. They fell. That's the difference. Beasley continues to be consistent. Whether he's knocking shots down or not, which he is more times than not, he's going to play the same way. He's going to get shots up, but he's going to get good shots up, and they're going to be in rhythm. And if it's not there, he's going to make the right pass. So, great game from Beasley. The biggest difference tonight in the game offensively was the bench production. We got it, and the Timberwolves didn't. Beasley had more points than the entire Wolves bench combined. They combined for 21. He had 23. And that's what good teams do. That's how Detroit Pistons teams have always won. Not just one guy, but spreading the offense around and playing unpredictable basketball to where any night it could be anybody who goes off. So the Pistons, once again, are resembling the type of team that I'm used to seeing when the Pistons were contending for championships. They're not there yet, but they're showing the signs and they're slowly molding themselves into the same type of team that they used to be. Ron Holland had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 2 or 3 from the field, 4 or 4 from the free throw line in 17 minutes. So Ron plays solid, man. But I love Ron's mentality, man. Just what he brings to the table. His athleticism, his toughness, and his dog, man. He was trash talking Ant-Man tonight. And he was going at him too. There were a few times when he actually went at Anthony Edwards offensively and tried to dunk on him. So I just love Ron Holland's grit. I love his toughness, man. I love the edge he brings to this basketball team. And as a rookie, that's very impressive to see, man. Isaiah Stewart had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, on 4 for 8 shooting. Stu just continues to defend the rim well whenever he's in the game. That's just what he does. I say this all the time, but you can really see that he just takes pride on the defensive end of the floor. There was a play tonight where he was guarding Naz Reid, and he blocked a shot on a drive, and he starts clapping his hands and beating his chest. Like, he really takes pride in that end of the floor. He takes offense to you trying to score on him, and it shows. He continues to play great defense, set that tone for that second unit, anchor that defense, and I love everything about Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart is a player that you just can't trade, right? We're talking about building identity. He is a big piece of that identity, right? Guys who are going to bring the same effort, the same style of play every single night. He's been doing that all season long. On the defensive end, he's the only guy you can say has been impactful all season long defensively. So guys like that don't come around often, and you got to keep those guys around as long as you can. So guys, the Pistons have won 6 out of their 7 last games. 6 of 7. And they're now 8-2 over the last 10. I don't think anybody envisioned this, myself included. But JB and his bigger staff deserve a lot of credit for the job they've done with this team in such a short period of time. They deserve a ton of credit, man. He's completely changed the culture and mindset of this basketball team. And on top of that, it's going to be even more fun when Jaden returns, and we'll be closer to full strength because we'll have guys like Asar Thompson who will have been able to get comfortable in that starting role. And when Jaden comes back, imagine the speed and transition buckets we'll be able to get then when he returns. So that's going to be fun. The Pistons right now are currently sitting at 17-18 on the season. They are 1 game back of 500 basketball. Their next game is against the Portland Trail Blazers at home. The game after that is on the road against the Nets. So, guys, the Pistons have a chance here to go on a 5-game winning streak. When was the last time the Pistons went on a 5-game winning streak? Anybody want to let me know in the comments? Let me know. When was the last time the Pistons won 5 straight games? They didn't win more than 2 all last season. So my question to you guys is this. Will the Pistons win the next 2 games and jump above 500 basketball for the first time all season? Let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. But it's a really fun time to be a Pistons fan right now. Buy your Pistons stock now while it's low. We're seeing the incremental growth that coach is always talking about, right? Week over week, month over month. The Pistons aren't taking steps back. We're seeing them continue to slowly but surely get a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's what you want to see. And it's only going to get better as they continue to get more reps in, they build chemistry with each other, and they continue to get more games under their belt. So it's going to be a fun season. By the way, Detroit got 1 win against Minnesota this weekend. Let's see if the Lions can finish the job against the Vikings and get a clean Minnesota sweep. That will make everybody's weekend. So I'll see y'all post game after the Blazers game. Appreciate you hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. #1 pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Cade arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B. No when he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him washed when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it really, Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went #1 for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Wimbenyama.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised a Texan, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Forgot about Cade, they forgot about Cade. Forgot about how you forget about Cade.